There is a stunning report out there that Urban Meyer actually interviewed with Penn State and that Penn State actually turned him down. What? Locked on Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked on Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked on Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single episode. And if you could share, follow, and like, and hype our videos, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. So Penn State and Urban, are we dancing or not? Plus, we have the Vegas odds, the latest ones, on who will get this Penn State football job. And we'll take a look at what we're going to do here over the weekend. But all that coming up. Did Urban Meyer actually interview for the Penn State job? You know, the one to replace James Franklin. And did Penn State actually turn him down in the interview process? So we looked into this. In fact, we've already been looking into this. We did a podcast on this about 10 days ago, a week and a half ago, here on Locked On Big Ten. And that was when Urban Meyer made the comment a little bit after James Franklin got fired. He says, a school doesn't fire a coach like James Franklin with his huge buyouts and got to buy out his staff and hire a new guy. It's like a $75 million deal right there off the top. You don't do that unless you already know who your next coach is going to be. We thought, wow, that's an interesting comment, especially coming from Urban Meyer. Any chance he's got some insider information? Any chance he was the guy that they're going to hire next? Maybe, right? So we looked into it a little bit, and we did know that he was talking to some Penn State people, a Penn State or a state of Pennsylvania people, like their senator and whatnot, but nothing else really became of that. Now, for a school that has such a rich history, that's won a lot of games under James Franklin, but they could never win the big one, and they couldn't win a championship. Moving on to Urban Meyer, that checked every single box that Penn State could possibly have. It'd be a slam dunk if there were mutual interest. If he was interested, you hire him. If he's interested, you pay him whatever he needs. You make it happen. But every time Urban Meyer was asked about his interest in that job, or any job for that matter, as he's currently a broadcaster on Fox, Urban always says no. He says the desire to coach is gone. I don't want to do that. Now, let's be honest, just between you and me, and a little bit harsh. Historically, Urban Meyer has not been one of the greatest truth tellers in the history of the world, right? Right? I mean, I'm not going to call him a liar or anything, but he's not been truthful at times in the past. We've documented way too many instances in the past during his career, and we're not going to rehash them here. But let's just say that I tend to take the words coming out of Urban Meyer's mouth with a little grain of salt, right? But we all acknowledge he's one of the greatest football coaches of all time. No argument here. So, did he interview or not? Now, according to Odyssey's Zach Gelb, and the story is also picked up by the College Sports Network, he claims that he has not one but two sources that said that Urban Meyer had a great interest in becoming the next head football coach at Penn State, okay? And that conversations were taking place between both parties. However, I'd like to know, were they conversations or were they official interviews? Now, his sources also claim that the conversations broke down when the discussions dove into the topic of name, image, and likeness. Now, according to those sources, his answers were not satisfactory enough by Penn State, and that they decided to move on in another direction, looking for a head football coach. Now, I don't know what Urban Meyer would have said if this conversation even took place. I don't know if he was all in on name, image, and likeness, or if he wasn't into it that much. Maybe he wanted to delegate, let somebody else do it. Maybe he wanted to be hands-on everything. I would believe that more than anything. Urban's a hands-on guy, doesn't delegate well, in my opinion. So he's a detail guy. Frankly, it's probably what makes him great. But if they're going to break down over the conversations over name, image, and likeness, let's keep in mind Urban Meyer's huge success in the past. He never coached in the name, image, and likeness era. He got out. Revenue sharing, he got out long before that ever started. So I would point out, though, that even if that were the case, if they couldn't come to some sort, and again, did he want to hypothetically micromanage all that or delegate it, or was it not that important because he still thought his coaching ability was what really mattered instead of all that other stuff you got to deal with? I don't know. It makes you wonder. But schools now, they hire general managers to handle all that stuff so that their coaches can coach, so that their coaches can recruit. And obviously, that's what Urban Meyer's really good at, recruiting and coaching. You get a general manager to handle name, image, and likeness. You get a general manager to handle how much you're going to pay this kid or that kid. Are you going to pay new kids, or are you going to reward kids that have been with you? And then, transfer portal, all this stuff that's going on in college football that Urban didn't have to deal with back then. It would be keep in mind, not only would it be an eye-opener, this is why Nick Saban, the greatest coach of all time, got out of the game. Didn't want to deal with this stuff. He wanted to develop kids and coach. That's what he loved to do. And he tells a famous story about how he and his wife were hosting some recruits at the house. All the parents wanted to know was, hey, how much money is my kid going to get? That's when he and his wife decided to get out. And, Urban never had to deal with all that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see if this conversation has taken place, if there was mutual interest, or, did Penn State really look the other way? Now, when in doubt, and by the way, I would love your comments on this right here, but I always say when in doubt, look to Vegas, because we have the latest odds from Vegas that you can bet on as to who the next head coach at Penn State is going to be. Now, Urban Meyer is on that list, but he's not the top. At the top of that list is Ohio State offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach Brian Hartline. He's plus 140 right now. Those are pretty good odds. And what's the number one weakness that James Franklin had at Penn State? He couldn't recruit wide receivers. It couldn't be explosive on offense. Brian Hartline, he solves that problem. Joe Brady was once upon a time a coordinator with LSU when Joe Burrow went undefeated at LSU, won a national championship. He's next at plus 225. Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri is plus 300. I don't know if Eli leaves Missouri to go to Penn State. I don't know. Maybe. Jeff Brom, former Purdue coach and Louisville coach. Louisville's his alma mater. Would he leave? Plus 500. Urban Meyer's on the list next. So Urban is top 5 at plus 700. Then you got Mike Elko at plus 900. One at Duke, now at Texas A&M. Brian Kelly, he's looking for a job. Left Notre Dame to go to LSU, and now he's out at LSU, plus 900. And Matt Campbell at plus 1,000 over at Iowa State. Matt Campbell's on every list every single year, and he never leaves. He seems to like Iowa State. That the NFL or college, they come calling every year. Matt Campbell never leaves. Anyway, those are the latest odds. Who do you think it's going to be? Hit me up with a comment here. Is Urban a real deal, or are you like any of these other guys on this list? Maybe one that's not on the list. Would love to hear from you. All right. If you are new to our podcast, thank you for joining us. We're here every day. Multiple podcasts every day. All things Big Ten. Hit that free subscribe button so you never miss a single episode. And if you could also share, follow, and like. In addition to being on video on YouTube, the audio version is on Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts as well, so you never miss an episode there. And if you could, in addition to subscribe, if you don't mind, share, follow, and like. I know if you're checking us out, you're a Big Ten fan. And I know that you know other Big Ten people. Hit that little share arrow and send this podcast their way. Let them know, hey, this guy's out here every day talking about the Big Ten. Plus, we go live on the weekends. That's always fun as well. And we have a website, talkbig10.com. That's with the number 10, talkbig10.com. All of these podcasts go there. You can go back for a second listen, catch up on what you missed yesterday. But while you're there, if you want to click on your favorite school logo, boom, you got merchandise, shirts, hats, T-shirts, all with your school logos on them. Just in time for Christmas. just in case you want it. It's all right there at Talk Big Ten. All right, we'll take a look at what we're going to do this weekend with our live broadcasts and our game plan for all that. It's coming up in a minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. It's the weekend. It's here. It's on our doorstep. And it's time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash Streaks, saving more every time you order. These players delivered when it mattered most. So let's break it down. It's got to be Julian Saban, Ohio State, especially what he did against Penn State, but what he's doing every week. He delivered in a big way. And, just like Julian Saban, DoorDash delivers on Saturdays. I mean, every week it's 80% completion, 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. With DoorDash Streaks, you save every Saturday you order, and you could stack it up every season. Order every Saturday. Order the rest of the week too, but order them up every Saturday, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. So order this Saturday. Keep your streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period through November 18th. And if you got a bunch of jobs to do and you need parts, but you don't have the parts, you're stuck. That's why you need Supply House. Supply House has all these parts to keep you and your crew moving. Order today. See the parts on your doorstep tomorrow with 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Again, you need parts right away, next day. Supply House has next day delivery. You talk about a game changer. That helps you out. They also have their Trademaster program. It's free. You can join that and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use the promo code SHColleges5, number 5, for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. Supplyhouse.com. Thanks for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten, especially you everydayers. All right, we got a lot going on here because we're here every day. All things Big Ten, all 18 teams, news, analysis of the news, opinion of that news. We're not afraid. We don't shy away from that. So we're here every day with that. And then on the weekends, we go live. We pick a big game and we go live after it. Except I couldn't make up my mind this week. So we're going to go live twice. We're going to go live after the Indiana Penn State game. That is a 12 o'clock game, so around 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. We go live. I get your real live time comments. You get my real raw post-game reaction, unfiltered. And then we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back after the Oregon-Iowa game at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. So we'll probably come on. That'll be about 7 o'clock-ish Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. We'll not only have live immediate reaction back and forth with the Oregon-Iowa game, but we'll recap the entire Big Ten day prior to that, and probably also talk about the night game, Nebraska at UCLA as well. In the meantime, there are many ways for you to interact with us at Twitter or X at TalkBig10, number 10. Our website, TalkBig10, number10.com. No matter what you do, before you go, if you could hit that free subscribe button, that way you'll never miss a single episode of Locked On Big Ten as soon as it's available each and every day. One other thing I want to tell you about for you college football fans. Locked On and Fire TV present the College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson and former college star Jesse Holley. And then all of our Locked On experts get together and give you everything you need to know each and every weekend. It's the College Football Kickoff, Thursdays throughout the season, only on Fire TV. That'll do it for us. Enjoy the games. Catch us live on Saturday. Always appreciate you joining us. I can't wait till you meet with us again next time. I'm Craig Sheeman for Locked On Big Ten.